And welcome to another Get Good at Business highlight. I am your host and business coach, Taylor Proctor, here to help you get good at business so you can get back into the heart of why you got into business in the first place. And the way that we do that is twofold. The first is through the I Move method, which we'll be diving into today. That stands for intuition, marketing, operations, velocity, and execution. And the second is through podcast interviews with incredible business owners like Ann here, helping us dive into her business, showing how she works within her business within the areas of I Move. Because when we can learn from other business owners, their strengths, their weaknesses, their industries that may be different than yours, their years of experience, we can all get good at business together. So I'm super excited to have Ann join us. Thanks for coming on the show, Ann.
Thank you for having me, Taylor.
So, Ann is a transformation strategist and coach, creating clarity, confidence, and courage for wealth and impact in business or desired organizational culture. Her background as a facilitator, trainer, coach, mentor, and consultant has seen her work with entrepreneurs, leaders, and organizations across 30 countries over 25 years. She works with coaches, consultants, and educators starting up or pivoting into entrepreneurship, founders of lifestyle businesses who eventually want to transition out of the daily management of their current business, and business leaders who are committed to transforming the culture of their organization for good. Her business is called the Pacesetters, where they're not just building businesses, they're crafting the life you love. Their core values are embracing freedom, living passionately, and experiencing creativity, steering everything that they do. They offer personalized strategies, group coaching, and innovative solutions to help you achieve your goals, both personally and professionally. So thank you again so much, Ann Muraya, for being on the show.
Great. Thank you, Taylor. I'm pleased to be here. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So let's dive in. What inspired you to start the Pace Setters and focus on these transformation strategies in your business?
Yeah, no, thank you for that question. So basically, over time, I've gone through many transitions, personal and professional. Professionally, I worked in the corporate sector. At a different time, I became a stay-at-home mom for many years, began a property business, later on focused on leadership and organizational training, facilitation, mentoring, and consultancy. So I've lived many lives. And along my journey, while going through a major life change, I really started to question my identity, who I was, which for a long time had actually been based on what I did. So on my different roles. Now, during this time, I attended an event, and the speaker boldly stated that the lives we have are a result of the choices we've made. Honestly, I was offended by that statement. It just sort of confronted me. But I took a step back and began to recognize that I needed to review my decisions, review both my personal and professional life. And that set me off on a transformation journey. Now, what this journey has done is it set me off on a journey of self-discovery as well as growth, which has really helped me gain clarity, gain confidence, and gain courage to keep moving forward. And so out of that emerged the Pacesetters in its current form. And what I've done is I've modeled the Pacesetters on Pacesetters in a marathon. So I come from the marathon country. I come from Kenya. And so in a marathon, you have Pacesetters, and their role is to guide the runner in the path of the race. At the same time, they provide like an arrow formation, and they're a human shield protecting the runner from the outdoor elements. And the third thing they do is they break the wind barrier so that the runner can move with greater ease. And so at the Pacesetters, I've built it in a way that we come alongside our clients as a pace setter, adding value so they can navigate their transitions along their transformation journey. Because the truth is this, any transformation journey will have lots of different transitions. And we want our clients to run and win their race and create a life and a business that they love. I don't separate life and business. Why? Because like I said, in my earlier journey, it took both the personal and the professional life looking into if I was actually going to experience fulfillment.
Oh, I love that. And I didn't know that about running pace setters. I knew that they like ran alongside to set the pace. I didn't know those other two components, and I love that.
Mm. Yeah.
So let's dive into the areas of I move. I mean, it sounds as though like your years of experience, your different background has all come together to help you create and build pace setters. But how do you use or how have you used intuition, the I of I move method, to help guide the vision and direction of pace setters as you've been building it?
Yeah. You know what? I love that your model starts with intuition. I really do. Because for me, making room for intuition is really important.
Mhm.
And so I have practices around this because it also forms a large part of the work I do with my clients. As a visionary and a leader, I find that creating the space to be quiet and sense check what's going on is really important so that I can pay attention to what's emerging internally, both personally and professionally, because whatever's emerging on the personal front will impact the professional. And
100%.
so from this place, I'm then able to strategize, I'm able to make decisions, I'm able to build and lead my business. Now, the other thing I find is that in this space, I spend time reflecting on challenges that my clients may also be facing so that I can create relevant resources and solutions for them. I'm a bit of an introvert, and so for me, this space is feels like home, the space of intuition. And I have actually found that if I keep on the go, go, go without stepping back, having that space to reflect, to see what's going on internally, and out of that, what's emerging, I don't function well at all. So I love that you have that.
Well, thank you. And I mean, intuition is all about creating aligned and congruent action. And I love that you said this because at first you said make room for, and then you changed it, which is, I love this because this is how I tend to say it, make space for. Because I think for so many entrepreneurs, it's like, okay, one more thing on my to-do list that I've got to meditate for a half hour. And it's like, no, 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 you can make space for this quiet moment.
Yes,
5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30
yes,
seconds before a meeting and tap back in. And so I love that you said
yes.
create that space. So good. So let's
Yeah.
move to the M of I move, which is all about marketing your business. So what
Mm.
marketing strategies have been most effective for you in promoting the pace setters?
So when it comes to promoting, one of them definitely is connecting via social media to create visibility, engage, and build trust. And so we're constantly posting and testing the clarity of our messaging to see if it's resonating, if we're communicating clearly. And so it's a long game. And the truth is this, that in today's world, if anyone's wondering about you, the first thing they do is they go onto social media to look for you or onto Google to search you out. So visibility becomes really important. The other thing we're doing is that we're using data to better identify, attract, and connect with the right client for us. We recognize that not everyone is for us. And so we are looking at data on the different social media platforms. We're trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. On which platforms are we getting the responses that say to us that this is where our client is, at least the client who gets us, because we recognize that if our work is going to actually meet the need of the client, if the solutions we have will meet the need of the client, then they need to trust us because a lot of our work requires that you trust the process. You cannot trust the process if you don't trust us. And so the other thing then is around creating content
Mhm.
and attending speaking engagements like this. We don't attend speaking engagements everywhere. We only go where we believe we will be established as a thought leader that our clients can trust, and only people that are reputable, such as yourself. So it's a privilege to be on your platform. And the final thing we do is I belong to a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, so that I'm in community, I'm learning, And I am building relationships that help me move the business forward so that when I encourage my clients to join community, I'm not asking them to do anything that I myself am not doing.
I love that. And like some of the key takeaways that I'm hearing from that is build that trust with the right audience, and to be in front of that right audience, utilize data, networking, and walking the walk.
Absolutely.
I love it. So let's move to the O, which is operations. Now, I
Mm,
love that you went in so much detail about your marketing because that's a lot of moving parts, right?
yes.
And that's just one component of business. And there's all these other areas that are operationally supporting the company. So, what key operations and processes have you established to really support the growth and the success of Pacesetters?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, the first one is building a team. That has been key. Because this way they can focus on what they're good at, and I can focus on what I'm good at. Because it becomes really difficult to sort out all those moving parts, as you just said, if I'm doing it on my own.
Right.
Now, having worked with a number of organizations over the years to develop strategy, culture, and things like that, and support leadership, one of the things that has become really clear to me is that structural foundations of a business are critical. If a business is ever to scale or even just to succeed, it's so important that there's infrastructure. And so we're focused on building systems. And what I say to my team is if something falls through the cracks, what that communicates to us is that we don't have a system. So learn from that and create a system. And so we're creating systems. We're making sure that to the extent possible, we're automating processes that so that we don't have to keep doing something over and over again if we can automate it. And documenting. We document as much as we can. For example, onboarding is documented so that when we have someone else join the team, we're not going to start from scratch. We already have stuff in there. And it makes it a lot easier then to evaluate because you're evaluating against something that's been documented. And so if you need to make any tweaks, you can do that when things indicate that there's need for a change. And what I have found with documenting as well, it's helped provide internal clarity. I find that sometimes we're focusing on providing clarity in our messaging for our clients and ignoring the internal team. So I try as much as possible to make sure that the team is clear on what we're doing through what we've put together, the systems we've put together, so that they're not frustrated. Because some of what you'll find is teams are frustrated because there's no clear onboarding system or there's poor communication. They don't know what's expected. Um, and what I found is that the operational aspects has actually also been central to my work, especially the work I do with founders that have been running their businesses for over 3 years, because then I can speak to them back to what you said earlier when you summarized what I had said. I'm walking the talk. So when I advise them to do something, I'm not speaking to something that I myself am not doing.
Mm, I love that. You're speaking my language. I think operations is one of those parts of business where it's not the sexiest, but it is so, and I love you said foundational, so
Yeah.
crucial in so many aspects for growing and being able to scale easily and automated, for having expectations and coaching foundations to grow your culture and your team and career pathing. Like, oh, so good. I love that. I love that. I love that. So let's move to velocity, right? Because we've got intuition, making those aligned and congruent decisions. We're making that space for it. We're walking the walk, building the trust in the marketing, delegating, creating standard operating procedures and documentation. Now that sets the stage for the V of I move, velocity. So, what
Yeah.
strategies do you employ to maintain that momentum that you have built through your intuition, your marketing, your operations to really continue to achieve that rapid progress in your business?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that has been really important is to be intentional to not only leverage, but also measure how we're doing against our core values.
Mm,
And so I'm talking about freedom, passion, and creativity. And so with freedom, this has to do a lot with the choices that we make. It has to do with time and location freedom. as we serve a global audience with a team that's also able to work from anywhere. And so I have now learned, after being offended way back when, to make choices that will serve the business and also make choices that will serve our team and our clients and partners that we engage with. So freedom is really important. And then there's the passion. So it's really important for me that we're able to leverage our uniqueness, and everyone staying in their zone of genius means that we can be more productive, which means that we have greater momentum. And so I try to have our team also work in their area of passion. And this way we can be moving faster, and we try to also align our ways of working so that there is some the synergy. It's almost like a dance. We're able to do this great dance that helps us move together as we move forward. And finally, creativity is a big one. I have found, and this is back to the intuition we started off with, that every entrepreneur out of that uniqueness carries solutions. I believe we all carry solutions. And allowing the emergence of those solutions is important, because that helps us stay in the space of being innovative, be thinking out of the box, so that we can add value to everyone that we're interacting with. And it ensures that we stay fresh and agile, so that we're able to actually model to our clients what they also have access to, because it's available to all of us. So that's what I'd say to that. And I try to measure it actually, because internally I run weekly pulse surveys, just so that we check where everyone is at, where they're spending more time in terms of these values.
Mm. Ah, I know I say at the end of everything that you say, oh, I love that, and that's beautiful, but it is so true. And I love you highlighted, especially in the first one, you highlighted what I love is like the decision Venn diagram, right? Which is where there's the individual who is Venn diagram. We'll have the four instead of three, but it's like the individual, then the team, then the clients, then the company. And like they all intersect. And when you can make decisions that align as much as possible with those four groups, like you're off to the races. And I love that. Oh, beautiful. And I love that you're able to measure your values, because I think for a lot of people, we hear and expect, especially in the beginnings of business, like, hey, set the values. And then we get caught up in that, and it's like, hey, yeah, these are our values, but are we really just, are they words on the wall, or are they actually being lived and measured by it? I love that that's your velocity giving piece, because I think it's so crucial for entrepreneurs to remember that. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's
yeah.
take things home with the E of iMove, which is all about execution. So, what is the biggest project or initiative that you are currently focusing on executing?
Yeah. So my current focus, after a lot of thought, data, everything, is actually creating space for a community of like-minded entrepreneurs. So from the previous work I've done, I understand the power of groups, especially to normalize challenges and to help community members get helpful perspectives from others within the group. And recognizing that the entrepreneurial journey can be really, really lonely, I feel that creating a space where business owners can grow and thrive in community is really important. And so, whether they're in a season of transitioning into business or wanting to set up businesses that they eventually exit out of, I feel that having this platform, which I have now identified, that would allow us to have general members who can just grow organically, or those people who want to step into spaces within the community platform that are specialized for what they need, will serve our clients a lot better than I think what I've been doing previously, which was just, ad hoc, bringing them in as a cohort and then they leave. Because what I found is if you don't remain in community, it becomes so difficult to continue on in the things that you've learned, or to have people to keep in touch with people that are your, let me use a word that's been overused, but that are your tribe that get you and who you can check in with, you know? So, so for the business incubator program that we have for the, you know, those transitioning into business, or the founders program for those who want to eventually exit their businesses, I'm creating these spaces. So there'll be it's like a house that has the living room, and then it has different specific rooms for others. And that's the big thing I'm currently working on that I feel will serve our ideal clients really well and help them create and build that life and business that they do love.
Yes. So where can our audience watch and find out more about those communities and that group, as well as everything that you're doing with Pacesetters?
Yes. So they can go to the pacesettersleader.com and they will find us there.
Perfect. And that link is in our video description as well. So an easy one click to go check that out and learn more about Ann and the Pacesetters. Awesome. Well, Ann, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate your insights, your value, your pulling back the curtain and your candor on where you're at and what you're working on and what you're doing in your business to help it grow. Because again, that helps all of us get good at business. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And for those of you watching, make sure to stay tuned. We will have more Get Good at Business highlights with other incredible business owners coming soon. And if you would like to be featured as one of our key business owners and highlighted here on the podcast, go to the Facebook group Get Good at Business, click our featured post, and apply to be on the show. So thank you so much again. And remember, we can get good at business together.